Hey everyone, Glenn Sanford here, and today I'm excited to talk to Lois De Armas, a three-time ICON agent out of Houston, Texas. And Lois, how's it going?
It's going amazing. And, I'd like to take advantage of this moment just to say thank you. Thank you so much for having the vision to create EXP. I can't even, I'm not going to get emotional, but you just have no idea what this company has done for me. After being with Remax for many, many years, I was looking for a place that I could go. And, because as we age in this industry, there's new challenges that come in life. And to be part of this company with so many different avenues of income, I had no idea what I would be facing 4 years ago when I joined the company. And since then, I've faced a few challenges. And because of the systems that you've put in place, it literally saved my life. And so I just want to I know that this is an interview, but I really want to take advantage of this time and just say thank you so much. You really just don't even know what a blessing this has been.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. I do sincerely appreciate it. The one thing I figured out early on in my real estate career is that we're not immortal and there's stuff that's going to take place. And this is a business that if you operate it the way it was sold to us as a real estate agent, it's a business that owns us, not a business we own. And somehow we got to flip the script
Yes.
on it and ultimately create something that actually creates true leverage. And that was what was missing from the real estate industry. And literally, had it existed, I would still be an agent and I would be there because that's what I was looking for. It just happens we built it. So
Yes.
thank you. Um, now you obviously you've been in the business. I think 18 years. You mentioned quite a while at Remax, three-time Icon Award winner. You've got a group, a small group that you've attracted to EXP. Um,
Yes.
what maybe what was your career like in real estate, and what led up to, I guess, maybe making the switch to EXP, and maybe if there's some things you did before real estate that got you into real estate, maybe just that just general story.
Yes. Well, I was a housewife for 15 years before I got my real estate license. And I really didn't get into it thinking that it was going to be a long-term career. I just thought, it would be nice to do this on the side and as my kids grew up. But I tend to be a pretty motivated person. And so once I got into the real estate industry, I jumped in with both feet. And I was blessed to have a good mentor when I started out. And she was available for me, which she set a great example for me, which is why I now get to enjoy being a mentor at EXP. It's just such a blessing to be able to give back. But I was a top producer at Remax, received many awards, even started a team at that time. But because of the business model, it really didn't set up for great success either. Even with all the tools that were there, um, you know, it just wasn't there. They didn't have the business model that EXP has to really launch them in the right direction. And so, but we received many awards. But towards the end of that, I started looking for somewhere to go because I thought if once I get into my 60s, trying to keep this income going, it's going to be really hard. I used to work with 3 or 4 buyers in a weekend, and now I'm a grandmother, and so it's not quite that easy. And so with EXP, of course, there's just you've got your revenue share, our stock, um, and also being a mentor. And so I remember whenever I was still looking, Jimmy Franklin had just made the change from Remax. And of course, he had been with Remax for 30 years. And I it on his social media that he had changed. And wait, what's going to make a person change when they have 150 to 200 listings, uh, uh, you know, at one time on a regular basis? And I just couldn't imagine it. So reached out to congratulate him. And, then I went to dinner with Andrew and Jimmy. And as they were explaining the business model, I thought, there's no way I'm getting into a multi-level company. I already did, Premier Design Jewelry, Mary Kay, all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing it. But the more they explained it, I thought, well, this sounds too good to be true. And the fact that it was publicly traded, and because people go MLM, and I said, it's publicly traded. Look, all the books are open. Like, everyone can see, this. Um, anyway, so when I made the switch, again, we were growing so fast. Okay. And I do want to throw this out there. We were growing so fast, and there were, like, just to try to keep up with the changes, again, I was blown away, because as soon as somebody said there's a problem here, then the team of EXP, they jump in and they make the changes. And so that's what's been so beautiful. As we've grown, we've been able to adapt to that and take it to the next level. And so there's not ever been this, here's a wall, but you know what? Let's jump over it. And so then all together, we all go over it. And so the other thing that brought me to the company was the core values, because I am a Christian, and every one of the values, I could find a scripture in my Bible that backs it up, And so I was like, this, I just really honestly couldn't believe it. And then so I showed it to my mother. I showed the plan to so many different people that I respect and admire. And they said, you have to do this company. So, so my first year I made Icon, then I made Icon again. And I actually think I Icon twice in 1 year, which was, I didn't realize how that could happen. But anyway, that was really cool. And I remember going to the first EXP Con, and that was amazing, absolutely amazing. And I remember I wanted to get a picture with you, and I kept saying, I want a picture with Glenn. I want a picture with Glenn. And I never got that. And then when I was on the plane scrolling through my photos, there was a picture of you standing behind me taking pictures with someone else.
Oh,
So
there-
yeah, so you were there the
yeah,
whole
there's a
time.
lot of pictures. Yeah, yeah,
But then
I do a lot of pictures. Yeah.
yeah, and the next year, then we had COVID. And I remember
Hmm.
some new agents had just signed on with EXP, and that was a challenge. But during that time, everyone could go to a class. We could still work. I think we were the only company, we were thriving through that, And so time and time again, through the challenges that we've had, that we've gone through, as far as I know, and from what I've seen, and from other agents I've talked to, somehow EXP continues to push forward ahead of everyone else. And so I just so grateful for this opportunity to do this and to share it. Not because a happy agent is happy, it results in happy clients, and happy clients
Right.
is more referrals, more leads. It's just a cycle, a cycle of success.
Yeah. No, a virtuous circle for sure. Yeah, it's attitude can makes or breaks a client relationship, and so it has a an income producing output. So all good. So now, how do you like? I'm guessing, because you've been in the business for 18 years, et cetera. You've got a big repeat referral business, or do you have a do you do much in the way of external third party lead gen? How is your business structured today?
Yes, in the beginning, as a new agent, I did open houses, which I tell new agents, that's the best place to go. Your friends and family at first are not, because they will always see you as the person you've always been. So if whatever your career was before, that's how they still see you, or a housewife, or whatever that is. So when you do an open house and the guests walk in, they meet you as a realtor. And so that's just a really good place to get your roots. But now, yes, after 18 years, I've worked with a lot of investors who have me stage their homes and list them. And so staging just naturally ended up becoming a really strong suit of mine. In fact, it is a superpower, which you wouldn't think that, but it truly is. And the blessing and that is, when I go into a client's house, and I just, and I don't care what the price point is, I treat every client like they're $1 million client. And in fact, when I had my team, I would tell them, if you want to be a top agent, you want to be the best, then be the very best agent you can to that one client. And that's what goes a long way. And so I learned that, especially I was in Sugar Land, which is Fort Bend County, which is one of the most diverse counties in the United States. And so it was such a blessing to get to work with all different cultures, all different religions, and to be able to walk into their homes and just show them how much I respected them and how honored I was to get to be their agent. And that just creates so much loyalty. So yes, most of my business now is repeat clients, referrals, and now after 18 years, I'm actually getting to work with clients' children and clients' parents, which this evening I'll be meeting with a couple's um, one his mom, and then I'm meeting helping her mom next month. So that to me is leaving a legacy. And a lot of people don't think about that, but the most amazing thing about being a realtor is that we have an opportunity to help people through so many different stages of their lives. The wonderful moments when they're buying that new home after they get married or have a kid and they're upsizing, going up. But then also through some of their tragedies and getting to truly sympathize with them and be there for them and put yourself in their shoes and get to go the extra mile. And I find that that works also with other agents I'm working with too, because even though they might be with another company, um, you know, we all go through things.
Right. Oh, for sure. Um, so now, with the repeat and referral business, how do you manage your past client relationships or current roster of folks? Do you have a favorite CRM? What tools are you using to kind of keep track of all this?
Okay, actually, okay, it's a bit antiquated. I still have my spreadsheets and I still go through, I have them in like the hot list where the ones that they tend to be my strongest producing branches that I stay in touch with. And then there's others who not as much because maybe they relocated to another state, so it just depends on where they're at. But I actually was super excited about KV Core, and that is where I'm working on getting everything transferred over to that. And I've been busy with my new mentees, telling them right off the bat, all right, get into your KV Core and get that going, because what a blessing to be part of a company that makes that tool available to us. Um, you know, I've heard of other companies that have it and they charge um, a lot for their agents to use it, but with EXP it's included in what we do. So um, I think it's just really a great tool.
Awesome. Well, I think your old alma mater, Remax, now has adopted it. I think we were the
Really.
first enterprise company to roll out KV Core, and now it's becoming a fairly much of a standard feature. But we're coach, train, support, intimately involved. Talk to Joe from Inside Real Estate quite often for features and functionalities and make sure it's working better and better. So awesome. So, what would be a piece of advice that you would give another agent who wants to be successful in their real estate career? Obviously, you're a mentor, been in the business, and probably seen a number of things. But is there anything that seems to be a top of mind uh, piece of advice that you think most agents would benefit from?
I would say stay authentic to who you are. So find out what your superpower is, where your strengths are, and work with that talent that you have. But then in the areas where you need strength, get training. There's so much training available through EXP, and it's such a blessing to be able to listen to other agents who give back. And so that would be the other thing, is to give back in your community. See where you can be a blessing to others, because it's so true that you reap what you sow. Whatever you invest in others, you will get that back. And so I would say be a part of your community, get plugged in, and when people see that you really care about them, they'll trust you and give you their loyalty.
Awesome. Well, great advice, and this has been obviously a great conversation here. What is it that you're focused on now? If you were to think about maybe the next 2 or 3 years in the business, where's your focus going to be here?
Actually, it's interesting because I was just texting with a mentee earlier and told her that I was planning on going into some of the success coaching, because it's time to do some reinventing, um, just to take it to the next level. And I mentioned I had faced two epic life challenges in the past 4 years. And again, the amazing thing about our company is I was able to get through those. And and I just to encourage other agents, you may not be a multi-million dollar agent, but this company has something for everyone, whatever your goals are. Maybe their goals aren't to to make that top level of, $10 million or whatever. But this company makes a place for the agent that wants to enjoy their family life on a weekend once in a while. And there's just always a way to do it. And so I just think that going through the success coaching is just a great way to get to the next place. So that's where I'm heading.
Awesome. And you probably saw that one of the members of the Remax leadership team from a couple of years back, but been there for quite a number of years. She's now the CEO over there, Amy Somerville. So
Yes, that's
she's
so
been,
exciting.
yeah, so she's got a huge background in that. She's worked with some of the top coaches and trainers in the industry, just came over from Buffini and Company. So we're excited to have her lead the charge there. Well, this has been obviously a great conversation here. And how would somebody uh, follow you or get in touch with you? What would you recommend?
Well, I am on Instagram, Lois_K Realtor. And if it's someone within EXP, they can reach out to me on Workplace. You guys recorded one of the university classes that I teach on staging listings beget listings. And I've had several new agents reach out to me from that class through Workplace messaging and just let me know how much they enjoyed the class. And then I share my listing presentation with them in case they want to reinvent it for a way that they could use it as well. So I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook page as well.
Awesome. Well, great stuff. Thanks again for jumping on here. And again, uh, look out for our next podcast coming out next week. We do these on a weekly basis, and super excited. So with that, thanks for
Thank you.
listening, everybody, and thank you, Lois.
Thank you. I'll see you at Shareholders Summit.